two different components, that hydrophilic head and those two hydrophobic tails. So this is ideal for a membrane because they kind of line up tail to tail with those hydrophilic heads as those outer layers of that membrane. This membrane encompasses all of the cytoplasm, which it means basically inside of the cell. The cytosol, or the fluid of the cell, can also be called the intracellular fluid, or the ICF. The other components are called organelles. So the first organelle I'll talk about is this nucleus right here. It's kind of the center of the cell. This is the control center. This has the DNA of the cell. It also has a bilayer membrane as well, called the nucleus envelope, which is also perforated with those nucleus pores. You can kind of see the little holes that I poked out of this. Inside this nucleus is the nucleolus. So this produces ribosomes. Ribosomes are very important because they read or decode that genetic material, so that DNA. This also assembles amino acids into proteins specified by that code. These can be found in the ER over here, in mitochondria also, or they can be known as free ribosomes throughout the cell in that cytosol. This is that next part. So this is the endoplasmic reticulum, or ER for short. This is a multitasker right here. I have a couple different functions. This is a little network connected to the envelope right here. So this is the rough ER. So the rough ER is basically the protein factory, the production center. It has those ribosomes all throughout the interconnected network. The other one right here is smooth ER. So obviously there's no ribosomes in there. This works to detox the plasma. So this is a detoxification area. So next one I'm going to talk about is this Golgi complex, or Golgi apparatus. This is a small flat stack of cisterns, which cisterns basically means flattened sack or space. The Golgi synthesizes carbohydrates and finishes off those proteins that were started here. So once these proteins and things are done, they kind of get pinched off of the Golgi into these little vesicles here, little green dots over here. So there's a couple of different things that vesicles can become, basically. So they could either become lysosomes, or they can travel out the cell through the membrane and perform different tasks. So these lysosomes are small hollow packets full of enzymes. So these are the blue with the little purple in the center. That purple I kind of meant for it to be those enzymes that fill up that lysosome. The blue is kind of just that layer that protects those enzymes. So we have labeled about 50 different kinds of enzymes that can be found in lysosomes. Their job is to hydrolyze proteins, nucleic acids, complex carbohydrates, phospholipids, etc. Their job is to kind of digest and dispose of surplus and non-vital components. Something that's very similar to the lysosomes are these little peroxisomes. So they're very similar, but they contain different enzymes. Their job is to basically use oxygen to oxidize organic molecules. In doing so, one of the byproduct is hydrogen peroxide of this little reaction that they do. Another one that we're going to talk about is mitochondria. Mitochondria is basically a powerhouse. So this is where they synthesize ATP, or energy. They don't necessarily make ATP, but they extract it from other organic components or compounds around them. They also have their own little ribosomes, so you can kind of see. And they have their own mitochondrial DNA, which is pretty fun. So last but not least are these little centrioles. It's the best way that I can kind of think of, not 3D kind of show them. I don't have the skill to do that. So these are centrioles right here throughout the cell. These are cylindrical assembly of like microtubules. So they're kind of 9 groups of 3 microtubes each. So they're kind of a giant tube. So these play a really important role in cell division. So a couple of different things that they can do. They establish cell polarity. They also ensure proper chromosomal separation when the cells are dividing. And they also help position that nucleus so the cells will divide equally. And that is all the components. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, leave any in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you. Bye.